right, so today, this one's going to be about being in emotion, about your inner child. A part of keeping your mental health in a good condition is to do inner child work. Now, this is something I've read before in How to Do the Work, which is a book by Nicole DePera. You might know her by her other name, the holistic psychologist, and she does a lot of and she's a psychologist who has a Twitter and Facebook active presence, social media for dealing with um, for dealing with with mental health, specifically childhood, inner child work, shadow work, you dealing with trauma, dealing with uh, these kind of things that can cause someone problems in their mental health, problems in uh, in their lives. So if you have like issues in your life and you don't know sometimes where these come from, you can look into perhaps that you have subconscious ideas and programs, frameworks that you haven't really that are there, but since you're in the subconscious, you don't really know about it. And so you might think you're all right, but in your subconscious mind you have subconscious programs, and these tend to appear, you know um, and that's what makes people who have childhood traumas, because that's when our subconscious is developing up till like the 7 years of age. That's when the subconscious really gets formed. So that's why it's so important to for those first 7 years of life. And so what happens is, like, sometimes during whatever stage of your childhood, you know you had some issues, you suffer some kind of maybe suffered some stuff, some kind of discomfort or whatnot, and that has impacted you. And maybe you haven't resolved these issues, at the time, and you haven't processed them, you know, and so they're kind of like in there, and that's what you know these things, they go ahead and pop up at later in life, and that's what causes a lot of issues, um, and and that's what happens. So I would say, um, well, you say, well, how do you know this? Uh, yeah, and how do you know this, dude? Um, you know, well, experience. If you have, um, I've seen so many videos and stuff of people, who have like some kind of trauma. Like maybe it could be you had an emotionally unavailable parent, you know, and you wanted to have like um, a more involved relationship, a more you wanted your parents to be more emotionally available, more there, more connected to you, and sometimes, you know, due to work or whatever reasons, your parents, one or both of your parents, weren't there for you, and that causes you to maybe, you know, become accustomed to this, thinking that maybe it's normal to have to for a parent to be emotionally unavailable. And then when you grow up, you find yourself somehow attracted to emotionally available unavailable people. You're just like your parents, you know. Namely narcissists, people who, who who are basically, you know uh so yeah, I mean, um that's something that has to be, that that if you have that issue, well, it's something that you would have to like work on, to process, to resolve. And that's where inner child work, shadow work comes in, where basically you get into a meditative state. You could do this with breath work or something, probably helps to try to access the subconscious mind. You could use, always, like I say, the exclamatory sigh from Huberman, um, which is two inhales in the nose and one out, exhale from the mouth. And then, do that for a little while in a quiet place. You can be in any kind of area, you know, comfortable, you know, whatever, sitting down, laying down. And then, you could wear some kind of, you know, eye patch, whatnot. Um, yeah, what else? Yeah, pretty much, to get into a relaxed state, to access your subconscious mind is the goal. And once you're there, you could do visualizations, um, of your senses and whatnot. I talked about this in my previous video of the visualization, of how to visualize and how to manifest stuff, and then, because what you're gonna do when you're doing shadow work is, or your inner child work, is you visualize yourself. Is what you want to do is you visualize a your inner child. You know, you want to visualize yourself at, let's say, 5 years old, 6 years old, 3 years old, and then when you have that image in your mind, you know, you hug him, you you say loving stuff to them, stuff that you would have wanted maybe when you were a child from your parents, from that unemotionally unavailable child parent that you had. I love you. You are safe. You don't deserve to be with anybody who's emotionally unavailable. You know, you deserve somebody. You're worthy of love. Um, you know, these are affirmations you can tell your inner child, and that's something that's a process. You can do that. The more you do it, the better, the more healed you become, the less that program from that unemotionally available situation, um, uh, you know, ingrained in your mind, the less it becomes. The less and less effects you will see of that the situation, the negative situation, the less you will see that in your life. So you will see your life become better. You'll feel better. You'll feel better. You feel, you know, you become emotionally more healthy person, because you see yourself in a different way. You see yourself, as somebody who's worthy of love, somebody who, you know, who who deserves to be loved, and this changes your energy, it changes your basically, your outlook on life. So yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on today: the inner work, um, the child, inner child, you know, and that's something that is very, very, you know, important in yourself, and and this is something that, along with something, along with saying these affirmations, you know, seeing yourself do this stuff, and now you can do this inner child on your own, and then there's also guided meditations also that helps. um, that's also something, that you can look into, um, and you can do these by yourself also. You could guide yourself doing this stuff, so it's a matter of choice, whatever works best for you. And yeah, as long as you you know you do the work, that's the important part of it. um, you'll get results. So yeah, that I wanted to talk about a little bit about the inner child meditation, healing the inner child, also called reparenting. Your inner child. This is stuff that is that helps you, change yourself, become a better person, have a better mental health, and yep. And then maybe next time we'll talk about shadow work. Um, so thank you, and I guess that's it for today.